Hi, my name is Daniel Ostwalt. This is week 8, Grantham University. And today we'll be talking about gun control. The assignment was to take a stance on a particular subject, and since both my previous videos have been on disassembly and basic maintenance of weapons, I only found it necessary to do gun control. Myself, I am against gun control. Do I believe in gun regulations and certain, I guess you still call them regulations, background checks, etc. to purchase a gun? Yes. I do not think people should be walking around with bazookas and RPGs and landmines. However, to take away certain small arms weapons such as pistols or concealed carry permits or AR-15 style rifles altogether is absolutely absurd. Here in recent news, the AR-15 style rifle has been the poster boy for gun control. The reason being is because it looks like a scary weapon, and it's what the military uses. There's absolutely nothing special about it. There's nothing extremely qualifying it over any other type of weapon. If you really want to get down to it, the AR-15 style rifle shoots a 5.56mm bullet, which in turn, does it have enough power to kill someone? Absolutely. But does a 7.62 that also have the ability to kill somebody? Yes, much more so than a 5.56. And the simple fact is that the reason that people want to ban AR-15s is because it's an assault. It's an assault rifle. When in all actuality, semi-automatic weapons have been around since the 1960s. For instance, the M14 used throughout the Vietnam and Korea era. You don't see gun nuts trying to ban the M14, even though it has a 7.62 round, which is a larger caliber, higher penetration, more stopping power, and a further maximum effective range. But for whatever reason, the AR-15 seems to be the gun to go to when you want to speak about banning weapons. First off, some of the things why this is important to me is I do believe in being able to defend myself from, let's say, the crackhead or nut job down the street, or in no way, shape, or form am I a conspiracy theorist or a tyrannical government. All it takes is for one nut job to slip through the cracks and change the government forever, bring down martial law, which in turn stops any type of elections until they deem fit to stop martial law. So the importance of being able to defend yourself is the fact of, you go into a bad neighborhood, or you're late at night with your family at a bad area at a gas station. 4 or 5 guys walk up, you have no weapon. Even if they have no weapons, it's still 4 to 5 against 1. You should have a right to defend your family and defend what's yours, by all means necessary. Also, as many of you know, the growing terrorism problem, especially nowadays, even more so than ever. ISIS, the most fanatical terrorist organization we've ever come across. Are they here? Absolutely. Homegrown terrorists. It is a real thing, regardless of how much people want to deny it and say, oh, it's not as big of a situation as we may perceive. It is huge. They are here, and they are ready to hurt law-abiding, good American people. Our forefathers, they obviously deemed it a requirement to be able to bear arms. Why? Because they had come from that style of government, that monarchy system of king and queen that could control your everyday life, that could control what you do, what you wear, where you work, if you get your education, if you don't get your education. They knew that they wanted to live in a place that a person could be a person could be their own selves regardless of what their government says. This is what makes America great. Is England, where we came from, like that now? Of course not. They advanced with the times, but at one point was it, and could it go back to that? Absolutely. I know a lot of people don't see the reasoning in hunting anymore, as we can go to the grocery store and buy whatever we need and and it's all right there for us already. However, there is a good reason for hunting, especially deer hunting. Deers do overpopulate the world, and if they are not limited, they will kill themselves out. They will eat everything until they kill themselves out. And on top of that, deer season comes around. In North Carolina, you're able to kill 2 bucks and 4 does. That is plenty to stock a freezer. I could kill 2 bucks and 4 does, stock a freezer, and be good for almost a year. Never have to go to the grocery store to buy meat. And that would be for me and another person. There's another upwards side of having a weapon. Also, like I was talking about before, it is a deterrent of violent offenders. Think about it. If our weapons were to get taken and stripped from us, who's going to stop? Who's going to stop the guys that have already committed crimes and are committing crimes right now as we speak? You think that just they're going to realize that no one can carry a gun anymore, so it's going to be just that much easier for them to stick someone up, take their belongings, take their family, or possibly just kill them because they feel the need to. Some facts that I have right here on my screen from solutionsheritage.org. Armed citizens are less likely to be injured by an attacker, and the number of defensive gun use may be as high as 2.1 million to 2.5 million times per year. That's a lot. That really, really is a lot. Considering there's 300 million people in the United States, it may seem like a small fraction, but I guarantee you more than half those times somebody's life was saved. And due to contrary belief, especially with all the mass shootings that's been going on, mass shootings have always happened. For whatever reason, they are just now being more open in the media about these mass shootings. The rate of mass killings, defined as 4 more fatalities in a 24-hour period, peaked on a per capita basis in 1929. There has not been any upward trend of number of mass shooting incidents. This means that there have been no more mass shooting incidents than since 1929. Regardless of what you see on TV, it has always been there. It's nothing new, and it will never go away. If somebody wants to commit a crime, they're going to commit a crime, regardless if they have a weapon or not. Usually when it comes down to violent crime and committing a crime, a gun does not make the deciding factor. Can a gun make it easier to kill somebody? Yes, absolutely. That's what it's intended to do. But a gun cannot kill somebody by itself. It takes a person to be behind the gun and to pull the trigger. Usually when a violent crime is committed, there are more outlying factors than just the gun. There's something psychologically affecting that person. Most violent crimes are committed through love, greed, rage, anger, or revenge. According to the FBI, the total U.S. homicide rate has fallen over half since 1980. The gun homicide rate has fallen along with it. Like I said, the gun does not kill people. People kill people. While gun ownership has doubled in the late 20th centuries, Americans feel safer today from violent crimes, including gun homicide, than they may have any time since the mid-1960s. That's up in the air. I can't really say I agree with that. That's all based on personal opinion. In localities where right to carry laws have been enacted, communities have seen a decline in murder rates and instances of other violent crimes. Exactly what I said. If people are allowed, law-abiding states are allowed to carry guns, it is nothing more than a deterrent to violent criminals. If I have a gun on my hip, like out for everyone to see, it's going to deter somebody to come rob me. They're not going to rob me. I'm a hard target. Why would they rob me when they can rob Granny down the road because she probably doesn't have a gun on her? The number of unintentional deaths due to firearm-related incidents accounted for less than 1% of all unintentional fatalities in 2010. The vast majority of gun-related deaths are suicides, not homicides. And as you know, there are many ways to commit suicide other than just using a gun. Gun buyback and turn-in programs are ineffective at reducing crime, and there is no evidence that the so-called assault weapons ban or gun-free zones reduce gun-related violence. There you go. There you have it. There's no evidence And guess who's going to be turning in guns when they have a gun buyback or gun turn-in? Law-abiding citizens, because they have to. You think the criminals that want to protect their stash are going to go turn in their gun that has no serial number or hasn't been registered or has been stolen from someone else? Probably not. So guess who's going to have guns? The criminals. Thank you for watching. I appreciate your time. Have a good night.